it's me. As you can tell by the title, I'm doing a little bit of an update again, so it's going to be a chatty one. A lot has happened. It's going to be a little bit a long video, so I highly recommend you bring yourself a cup of tea, as I have, because we're in England. And if you so care to listen to me talk for a long time. If not, you can always play this at 2 times speed, in which I recommend you get a smaller cup of tea. But yeah, I wrote notes, guys, because there's so much happening. But yeah, I guess we'll just get started here. It is now into the 4th month. I got here in April. We're in July right now. And wow, everything has been happening unusually quickly. I think my experience here, my transition is abnormal in a good way for me. But it's incredible how everything is just kind of lined up one after another. Barely any lull time in between. And I've been able to enjoy everything for what it is in the moment, and yeah, just kind of soak it all in and kind of let things take its place. Let time take, I don't know, something like that. I'm still in shock. Like a little more than a year ago when I decided to try this thing out, even kind of played with the idea of moving to another country. I told God, just take me on an adventure. This will be an adventure. We'll see what happens. And who would have known that it would turn out like this? And yeah, it has indeed been quite an adventure, and it's been super exciting. Yeah, it's just everything that's been happening, every little thing is incredible. And I think what's really helped and felt so freeing about the whole process and is letting Jesus take the lead and letting him worry about all the details, and I can just kind of follow along and be like, okay, this is good, because I trust that he won't lead me on a sketchy path. And that's exactly what's been going on. I feel super safe. I feel empowered. I feel just so grateful for these opportunities to come, and how wonderful it is to be able to have someone leading you and being able to trust that if anything happens, they got it and I don't have to worry about it. So yeah, but let's get into what the title of this video is really about. Alright, so what are we in? We are in the 2nd week of July. It is officially my last week of the contract that I talked about in the last work update video. So yes. Well, the last time I talked about it was before I even started. It was 3 weeks before I started. So yeah, time flies. It's been quick. But what an incredible way to start my new life here. It's been such an amazing first team to work with, first job and first group of people to meet, and in a new country. Like I never would have even imagined that it would be this smooth. My current team is amazing. The people are great, and really I think over the years and working all the different jobs that I've had, I've worked at Starbucks, I've worked at the bank, I've worked obviously in the hospital, I've worked in the community as a nurse. I've been with a lot of different teams in the past, and it doesn't matter the kind of work you do, the people make such a difference. You can have the most lamest, mundane work, but if you have the right people around you, it doesn't matter as much. Obviously in a perfect world you'll have both great people and great work that's fulfilling and whatnot, but yeah, they have been truly amazing to the 3rd degree, to the nth degree. Everyone from the nursing staff to the admin staff to the physicians and like everyone in between. Like I just felt so welcomed and so easy to be myself around them. Surprisingly so. And making friends, like my bare minimum at this job, because I knew it was going to be a short-term thing, was to get along with the colleagues, not piss anyone off, and do a decent job so that they may want to keep me if I decided to stay with them and I like the work enough, and not lose my license. Just bare minimum. That's all I really wanted. But I'm coming out of there with increased confidence, potential friendships that I hope to be able to maintain and sustain for a long time. I've met a few people that I feel like would make good lifelong friends. I learned a skill that I've never done before. I've never done endoscopy, which is what I'm in right now. And they were so good at teaching me and being patient with me and showing me all the different things. I don't think I'll do that as my future career, but yeah, I learned a lot, and yeah, above and beyond, like more than what I would ever expect to gain from this work. I definitely, coming into any job really, I had this fear, kind of like this imposter syndrome. I felt like that I wasn't going to be good enough, and I wasn't going to get along with people, which is, I think, a bigger fear than not being good at my job. Because like I said, the people you work with really make or break your work. But from the very beginning, it didn't take very long for me to be integrated into the team. We got along so well, and I'm already making plans to hang out with everyone after I leave this contract. We've hung out several times after work already, and it's true. Well, a lot of the colleagues are reminding me how much I'm going to miss them when I leave, and I'm not going to deny it, I will. And I'm very grateful to be complimented on my work ethic too. So the manager of the place has told my agency that they would really like to have someone like me to replace me when I leave, kind of thing. So small words, but it means a lot to know that I'm appreciated for what I do, and for my presence in general. And yeah, I'm going to miss this team, but I'm grateful for the connections, and I hope to stay in touch with everyone, and I hope everyone decides to stay in touch with me too. They may or may not be watching this video at that point. So thank you so much for being such an amazing work family for me here. You made my transition so easy to come to the UK and be a part of the healthcare system here, and I've learned so much from all of you, from your work ethic, your dedication to patient care, and your just knowledge and professionalism in the line of work. So thank you so much. Oh, and like, not being like super snobby and crabby about it all either. Like, you're genuinely down to earth people. You're good at what you do, but you're also good at being with people and getting along with others. So amazing team. Thank you so much. That was a lot of talking. Oh, and by the way, so this clinic is a private clinic, right? So it's not with a public healthcare system. It is private, and I learned a little bit about private healthcare, and pleasantly surprised. I think what I was worried about private settings was that it'd be very money driven, and therefore also the clientele you receive would be a little bit, I guess, more entitled feeling kind of thing. But I was pleasantly surprised. We had people of all ages, of many different walks of life. It sounds like a lot of employers will give their employees healthcare benefits in which it covers private insurance. So then they could come into this place and they'd be covered by their insurance or their benefits from work. So yeah, it felt like an outpatient clinic back in Canada, Calgary specifically. But obviously, because the nature of the work endoscopy, it's not like you get repeat offenders kind of thing. Like, these are people with symptoms and they're trying to figure out what's wrong with them, and they just do a simple, not simple, but like a scope to see what's going on. So you can't really get repeat offenders because it's like, it's your insides. But anyways, yeah, I think every healthcare business is going to be somewhat driven by financial restrictions, I guess we could say, but not as bad as I thought it would be. So yeah, I think that might be the difference between 100% public healthcare, 100% private, and then the mixture of private and public for people to have access to. So some pros there. This is my last week at this contract. What's the next steps? So typically, if I was still with the agency, I think they would have another contract lined up for me. This particular place was willing to extend my contract because they needed the nursing staff, and thankfully they liked me enough that they would want to keep me. So that would have been an option. Another option would have been to apply to work as a permanent staff for this particular clinic if I so wished to. But again, that's not the case for every contract. If it depends on if they have the room in their budget, if you jive well enough with the team, and then because I'm not a resident here, there's also the issue of the visa and whatnot. So those are all options. But what I ended up doing was I did apply to other places for my specialty, which is tissue viability, or back home we call it just wound care. It sounds super fancy here in the UK. It makes me feel more fancy. I call myself a tissue viability nurse. And you get like a title and everything. But anyways, so yeah, I was applying for a lot of those, and I got offered a permanent position in another facility. I applied for both public and private healthcare, and surprisingly I got hired in a private one. So that'll be interesting to do that role there. I'm still not 100% sure what that's going to look like. The structure is going to be really different than what I'm used to at home, but it's been really cool to have people coach me. So one of my interviews was with with NHS here, and the manager of the team, she really identified with my journey, and so she called me and asked me if she could give me tips for my next interviews, because I obviously didn't get that job. And so she spent an hour and a half of her weekend just to coach me and talk to me about things and tell me how I can improve on my next interview, and like give me an outline of how the system works here in the UK as a tissue viability nurse specifically, but just in general how the healthcare system works here. And I was so unbelievably like shocked and in awe of, wow, like someone I don't even know, we just met on like Zoom or Microsoft Teams or whatever. I saw her face. I have no idea who she is. She has no idea who I am. But she took the time to do that. And if you hear that in the background, it is raining again, which is not a surprise here in London. But yeah, so that job starts beginning of August. So you might be like, doing the math in your head and be like, okay, if her last week at her contract job is the second week of July and she doesn't start work till the beginning of August, what is she gonna do for the next 3 weeks? So I have another 3 weeks off to do what I want again, which is also incredible. Like I don't remember the last time where I took vacation in the summer. It's especially with seniority and union back home in Canada, like because I was on the bottom of the totem pole for seniority, you would never get a summer off usually, because most of the older nurses, more senior nurses, would have taken it off because it's summer vacation for their kids, etc., etc. And yeah, so what better to have the summer off than to explore England when things are warmer. It's supposed to be really warm in July, minus this rain, but yeah, so I have some plans to do like a road trip with Tiffany and Magda. I have some other events in London that are planned, a lot of exploring with new friends, going out for dinner, lunch, like places to eat. Obviously there's so much to eat around here, and then moving. Yes, that is right, I'm going to be moving soon. This might be the last time you see this room. I've enjoyed it very much. It gets very bright and it's quite cozy. I like it. It's very large, unusually large for bedrooms in London. So the next place I'm going to is smaller, but it's going to be like a 10-minute walk from work, which is insane. I can't, yeah. And it was so, I found it so quick. I got like 30-minute chat with the girl that's going to be living there, but she seems super chill and I think we'll get along really well. And then that was it. It took like all but less than a week to arrange that. So end of the month I'll be moving into there and then settling in and then starting the new job in a month. Just crazy, guys. Crazy. So backing up a bit back to the whole job search thing, I was just applying to whatever. Anything that said tissue viability on it, I was like, oh, put in my resume for that. And I really expected to go through a couple more interviews, get a lot more rejections, just because that's the nature of job hunting, really. You don't expect your first 5 applications to land you an interview or a job offer, for that matter. And I don't even know what happened. It happened so quickly, and obviously there was a lot of God's providence and all that too. Like I expected to have to play the game a little longer, because that's just how it is. And I'm just, everything happening so quick. I'm so grateful for it. I was ready to work for my current place a little longer and keep job hunting for my specialty and whatnot, but yeah, it hasn't been incredibly smooth. I'm not perfect. I've definitely made some rookie mistakes during these processes, and even to this day, but again, God is so gracious, and he obviously, if God gives you a plan, like if he sets a plan in motion, there's nothing that can stop it. And so clearly he wanted this to happen, and nothing, not even my own stupid mistakes, thwarted his plans. So praise Jesus. Yeah, so that's what's been going on. I think in these last couple months, surprisingly, my confidence has grown. I never thought that my confidence could reach the level that is at right now. And I learned a lot of interesting life skills, like negotiating a salary, which you never do in healthcare, especially in Canada, because it's public. You never would even fathom negotiating a salary. But I got to do that. just to try it out, see what it's like. And then learning what I guess the worldly standards of knowing your worth is in terms of dollar value. And being able to be confident in that and say that, hey, I've busted my tail to get to the qualifications that I have. I have plans to continue to pursue that. And so I'm worth a certain amount to be able to maintain a certain lifestyle kind of thing, right? So that's really empowering and really cool to be able to say that. And it's not bragging, and it's not being cocky or pretentious about anything, but knowing that just basically don't short sell yourself. You worked hard for something, so you know, if it's God's will, and clearly it was, then why not? It doesn't hurt to ask sometimes. So yeah, it's been really good. I came here thinking that I would learn a very thick slice of humble pie, being served a really thick slice of humble pie, but I feel like I've been given a lot of ice cream and whipping cream and sauce and cherries on top of this humble pie. There are a lot of things that I've learned that I'm like, wow, like I am not as good as I think I am. Mostly because when you're in a bigger city, you meet more people who are really good at what you do. Like I've become a little fish in a big pond, as the saying goes, I think. But I think I would rather that than be a big fish in a small pond. Camera died, but yeah, I think I would rather be a small fish in the big sea, big pond, just because there's so much more opportunity to learn from others. You get to see all the different kinds of fish that are around, and yeah, but even so, I've met someone, one of my colleagues actually, where we kind of have a very similar path, like different specialties in nursing, but she's already she's a few more steps ahead of me in what I want to do with my specialty, and so yeah, there's more opportunities to meet people that are like you, and yeah, and that's really cool as well. So yeah, it's great, and I think because of that, like I said earlier, meeting different people and their uniqueness makes me embrace and appreciate my uniqueness as well. And yeah, I think that's one of the charms about being in a big city that I like, plus all the different variety of food and restaurants and events and things you can do in a bigger city. But yeah, I think that's it for updates, really. I told you it's going to be long and a lot of babbling. I hope you enjoyed your cup of tea, and I'll do my best to update every so often. Sounds like things are opening up again all over the world, so when you guys get the chance, feel free to drop me a line, let me know you're planning on being in town, and I'll show you what good stuff that I find. We love to be able to see you guys on this side of the pond. Yep, that's it. See you guys soon. Bye.